Hello, this is John, Golf 8 Tango Papa X-Ray. Today I'm looking at decoding DMR Mototrbo from my IC-7100. If you look at my other videos, you can see I've done this previously using a FunCube dongle, but today I wanted to try it with my IC-7100. Initially I had a few problems using the USB audio output from the IC-7100. It seems that the tone controls in the radio were always enabled on the USB output, so you don't get a very good clean signal, and I tried various tone settings but still couldn't get it to work, and I suspect it's due to phasing issues on the audio coming out. But luckily the IC-7100 has another neat trick where you can set the audio output to be IF rather than AF, and that's on this box here. If you look, the ACC USB output select, you can set to IF. When you do this, it gives out an IF audio based on the IQ audio, the quadrature sampling technique used by SDR radios, so you can feed the output of this IC-7100 direct into SDR. So that's what we're planning to do here. The idea is to use the IC-7100, send the output IF IQ audio to SDR sharp. That in turn will send the audio to a virtual audio cable through its input and output. It then goes into a program called DSD Plus, which decodes Mototrbo DMR and sends the audio to the speakers. The software you need to do all this, well, SDR sharp, hopefully you've seen in the past, but that's this program here. VB Audio is the audio cable. You can download from this guy. It's shareware, but you can contribute something to his development if you wish. You need to install that as administrator rights when you do that, so just make sure you run it as admin. And DSD Plus you can get from this URL. I installed it straight into a folder called DSD Plus, which is what's in this command box down here. When you install DSD, one thing I've failed to mention in the past was you also need to put a thing called lame_enc DLL. It's a DLL that does some audio encoding, and that is required. You can actually get lame by following this link, and there's a page on there telling you how to download lame and actually get the DLL file, and then just copy it into your DSD Plus directory, so it's all in there together. And that's everything you need for the setup. It's all free software, so download that, get it working. Once you've got the software installed, the first stage is on SDR sharp. We want to pick up the audio from a sound card, and the sound card's going to be my USB 3 audio codec and microphone. This is the USB device that automatically gets installed when you plug your IC-7100 into the PC. You need to make sure you're on narrow FM, maybe a bandwidth about 15K, and make sure the filter audio is turned off. It's essential you turn that off. Once you've done that, you can actually run before we do that, the output then, I said we're going to route the output from SDR sharp to this VB audio input, so that's what this one is here. Make sure it goes to cable input VB audio cable, so that's where you should be going. You should have one device on there. I've got several other devices on it because I've been playing around, but you should just have the one, so route it to cable input VB audio cable. And then you can actually start SDR sharp. You need to set this to pick up the signal from your IC-7100, so that's probably about right in the middle of the bandwidth there. And then we go to DSD, run DSD, hit return and then hit escape, and you can see it gives you a list of all the input and output devices on your PC. In our case, we're actually going to pick up the audio output from the virtual audio cable and send it to DSD. So you can see that here is number 2, input device number 2, the cable output. And we want to send DSD output to the PC speakers, and you can see the PC speakers are number 1. So it's fairly simple to run DSD with -I2 for the virtual audio cable and -O for the output to number 1 to the speakers. Hit return, and it should be ready to decode. We just need a signal now to come through from my local repeater, GB7NS. If we look on here, there's nobody talking on there at the moment, but every few minutes or every minute you'll actually see some data go through where the repeater sends out some idents and some data. So we're just going to wait for that just to make sure we're getting a good decode. And it's usually once a minute it sends out the data. Although it always seems a bit longer when you're waiting for it. Oh, there you go. So we've just got the data, it's decoded. As you can see, it says idle because there's no traffic going through at the moment. But if there was a QSO on there, you'd actually hear the audio coming out through your PC speaker. And that's about it for the setup. As I said, these are all the links you need. I'll post those on the YouTube channel so you can cut and paste them. Install the software and check it out. It should work fine. It's not just useful for Mototrbo as well. Using this technique to get audio out from the IC-7100 is quite useful for any other data mode. You can actually pick up the audio without any distortion, and it seems to work a lot better for decodes. So SDR sharp from decoding the data from your IC-7100, and then just use a VB audio cable to route it through to whatever program you need to decode the data, whether it's DSD or whether it's a JT65 program, whatever it might be. It should all work. Okay, hope you found that useful, and pity there was no audio on GB7NS, but I might try and do a video a bit later where there's some audio on there. 73 from John, Golf 8 Tango Papa X-Ray.